Welcome to another edition of Pencils and Paint. Today we're going to look at value. Values are darks and lights. We're going to start today by just creating a simple shape and dividing that shape into 7 different segments. Each segment will be progressively darker or lighter, whichever way you look at it. Here we have the shape. Now I'm just simply dividing the shape up into 7 segments. The 7 segments have been made. Now it's time to begin to lay in your value. The first segment I'm going to leave white. The second segment, I'm taking my lightest pencil, which in this case is a HB, and you could even go lighter than this, but I'm just laying it in there, and then once I've laid in the value, I'll go over it either with a paper towel or a stump to blend it into the paper. Here's the stump, and then I've sped things up here so as not to bore you, and you can just see that I'm filling it in again with a pencil, and now I'll go over it again with a stump. To keep things nice and neat, I take my kneaded eraser and take care of any smudges. I'm just trying to make it neat and clean. And be careful with fingerprints. You can pick up graphite from putting in your value, and you can put fingerprints all over the place. So just be real careful about that. You can see here that I'm using a napkin. You can use just a soft tissue to protect the rest of your drawing from smearing, and just keep that way when you have your hand resting on some value that you've already put on. Now you can see the third value I put in here is a little bit darker, and I've changed pencils to make it just a little bit darker. And once again, taking a tissue and blending in the value all the way to the edges. And then you can come back with your stump and just fine tune it. There I've got the napkin laid down to protect the paper. I like to go back and define the edges of my value study with a little bit darker value and just create a line around each segment. It just seems to identify each value a little bit independently. Now you want to try to get the value uniform across the whole section. You can just practice doing that. Uniform means that it's the same value all the way across. And have your eraser ready. I try to turn my paper so that my hand is not resting across any part of the drawing that I've already worked on. And so I just rotated the paper, or turned the paper, so that my hand is not on any part of the drawing. It's a good way to keep things clean. Once again, I've sped things up so I don't bore you, and here I am blending it in, the fourth value. Switch my pencils out. Since I'm going to the not the darkest, I don't want to use my darkest pencil, so this is a 5B, and then on my last segment I'll use a 6B. Started out with a HB, went to a 3B, now I'm to a 5B value, and then finally we'll be at a 6B pencil, which will be my darkest value. Pencils have a range to them. Each pencil does not just have one value that it can lay down. Each pencil has a range, and they overlap each other. Now, the darker values are a softer material, and they lay down quicker, and your pencil will need sharpening much more frequently than the lighter pencil, which are a harder material. So just keep that in mind. Keep your pencil sharpener handy. You can take your pencil after real sharp, and you can go in and you can kind of tighten up the edges with a sharp pencil. And now I'm changing out to my darkest pencil, the 6B, and I'll begin to lay down my value. Once again, you'll see I'm using a napkin or tissue to protect my paper from smudging. And this pencil is wearing out really quick because it just lays down so heavy. So now I'm just putting in the final touches. I'm going around my segments with a little bit darker value, just cleaning things up, tightening up the edges. I'm cleaning up the very last part of the value study, and the point is to put a different value in each segment. And there it is, the value study.